my name is Moira Barnes. For those of you who don't know me, thank you for joining us this evening. So this is my 6th Monday live that I've done with regards to selling, to sell or not to sell. It was the first one we started off with at the beginning of this, the coronavirus pandemic. So at the end of March, I think it was about the 23rd of March, when I did the first of these lives. I'm only going to do one more next week. So next Monday's live at the beginning of May will be the final part, and I'll probably just recap on the previous 6 weeks, different things that we've talked about. The reason why we're doing these Monday night lives is during the pandemic, we're very aware that we've got our lovely Minty members, signed up members, and we've been doing a lot of extra training with them, a lot of extra support with them during this time. So the Mint Business Club was initially set up to stop people feeling isolated in business when it was Savvy Solos, and then it changed to Mint because we recognise that small business owners with more than one person in the business can feel isolated as well, and appreciate all the help that we give in the Mint Business Club. So we started this, though, for the wider Mint business community, because we realised that while you're not a fully paid up member of the Mint Business Club, we still love you and we still love having you part of our community, and we wanted to offer some additional help to you as well. So whereas it's not the daily trainings that we've been having, or the 3 times a week trainings we've been having, we've been doing this live on Monday evenings for the last 6 weeks. So next week will be the last week. So if there's anything specific you'd like me to cover next week, please let me know. But as I say, I'll probably recap everything I've done in the last 6 weeks. I'm really freaked out by the fact that I'm squashed. I mean, it actually makes me look slimmer. It makes me look like I've not been eating chocolate every single night since this crisis started. So that's not a bad thing, and I should just get on with it, shouldn't I? Hi Gemma, thank you for joining us. It was lovely to briefly see you today. Now, before I get into, I'm going to talk about closing, and it is something that is a much longer than just doing a 20-minute live on Facebook. Closing, you can Google closing the sale and you'll get all sorts of things popping up. So I'm only really going to scratch the surface this evening, but I hope it helps people in different ways. But before I go into that, I just wanted to remember one of our lovely members who unfortunately passed away yesterday. So lovely Liz of Nora Cool, of the fantastic laser cutting world, a very deeply loved member of the Mint Business Club. She sadly passed away unfortunately yesterday. So just a little bit of a shout out for her, because we did love her dearly. She was such a lovely, warm member of the club and made us all smile, and had a very dry sense of humour, but was always really lovely and helpful with wonderful things like this. So bespoke jewellery that I had from her, so I thought I'd wear them in memory. I always get lovely compliments from people when I wear these earrings, so it felt fitting to wear them this evening. So moving on from that, so more selling, people are still quite afraid of selling, unfortunately. Although there's lots of members in this group, in the Mint Business Support group, that are actually brilliant at selling and may well disagree with anything that I'm saying. Everybody's got their own way of selling, but there are still quite a majority. I did a survey a couple of years ago about what people's thoughts were about selling, and almost half of the respondents to that survey said that they didn't enjoy selling, and they would really appreciate some help with selling and upskilling in that area, but they're not quite sure where to go. So this is the kind of what I do, is I want to help people fall in love with selling, hence the big heart, that way behind me. And what I want to do tonight is, as I say, just briefly cover up closing the sale. So I've talked in different weeks about various parts of the sales. I call it the sales conversation rather than the sales process, because I think if you call it a process, people get a bit scared by it. So calling it a sales conversation just makes it a little bit more down to earth. And actually, that is what selling is. Selling is having a conversation with someone, with people. Where's my watch so I can keep track of the time? You do it all the time naturally in your life. Hi, Jonathan, how are you? Gosh, it's been a long time since I've seen you. We do it naturally, selling to each other. So, for example, if you've been back in the days when we could go out, you'd go to a restaurant or you'd see a film at the cinema, and you'd come away and you tell all your friends about it and tell them to go and see it. In these strange times, we're probably telling each other about fantastic local grocery delivery services that you can get. I mean, getting a supermarket delivery slot is quite impossible at the moment, but there's lots of local companies, certainly near the concert area. There's quite a few places. Sweetheart's Bakery in Black Hill, Ledgate DIY, they've been doing deliveries as well. There's been lots of different people, and so that information is just being shared naturally between each other. I had a really good service from these people. I highly recommend them. I did an order last week with beverages, the garden centre near us in Ebchester, and I messaged them on their Messenger account. They rang me when they said they were going to ring me. I missed the call, which I was really annoyed about. And I thought, well, that's it. I'm never going to get a call back. They called back within half an hour. I placed my order, and within an hour, I had that delivered to my back gate. It was pretty amazing. And so I'm now telling everybody that if they've not shopped at Beverages before, then they should definitely shop at Beverages. I've always shopped there. They've always been brilliant, and I think they're brilliant. So that's my way of selling. I am actually selling for Beverages in that way, because they've provided such an amazing service. And that's something you've always got to think about, is your existing customers are your biggest advocates, and they're actually the people that are going to really help close your sales down. If you've got them on board and they're doing all the hard work for you, then that's fantastic. So just make sure that you always improve your customer experience. Hi Phil, how are you? So make sure your customer experience is really good, and then people will automatically sell for you. But what we need to do is, in this sales conversation, there's different processes, parts of it. So there's building the relationship up, which is all about your marketing. We've got some fantastic marketers in the group. Michelle Rose marketing is really good. So you get your marketing right, and that's the start of the conversation. Getting to know who your customer is, asking them the right questions, asking them open questions, and importantly, listening to what it is that they say. Identifying how it is that your product or your service is really going to help that person. So you're genuinely helping them. You're genuinely going to make a positive difference to their life. I say the same thing every week, so I'm repeating myself constantly, but I just think it's worthwhile doing that, because people might forget about these different processes. But there's a part of the sales conversation that actually a lot of people forget to do. And it's a really important part, and it's not one to be taken lightly, not one to be missed off lightly, because it's really important that you ask for the sale. So some people go, but I don't want to, we've had this whole conversation. Can't they just say, great, I'm going to buy that then? Well, that case, that might be the person is teaching. Something to tell me. Oh, I think my connection's back on. Sorry if I disappeared then, I apologise. I'm not quite sure what's going on. My connection went a bit funny then. But I'm just saying that we mustn't forget to ask for the sale. So you get through the whole process, the part of the conversation, the beginning parts of the conversation, and we get to the end, and you have a really lovely conversation with somebody, and you've identified how you can help them. And you've told them, this is, I think this is, I could really help you in this way. And then you don't actually ask them for the sale, and it just kind of fizzles out. The conversation fizzles out, and then they go, oh, right, okay, then I'll go. And they go off, and you go off, and you put the phone down or whatever, you hang up your Zoom call. And you're left feeling really like, ugh, that's not worked. And the person that you've been selling to, because you have been, the person you've been talking to has gone away and think, oh, well, they obviously don't need my business. They must be doing really well because they don't need my business. Well, but they've really convinced me that what they sell, what their product, what their service is amazing, that I'm going to go off and find somebody else who can deliver that for me. So you've lost a sale there, and you've potentially handed your competitor a sale on a plate. So please remember that you must ask for the sale. So you must finish that conversation, and this is how you close, one of the ways of closing the sale down. Hi, Rebecca, Dr. Rebecca, how are you? Lovely to see you. So you get to the point where you've identified what it is that you can do, how you can help them. So for me, somebody needs me to write their sales strategy for them. They've got no idea how to do this. They're really confused about what they should do and how they should do it. Well, I've identified that's something that I've done before. That's something I did in my career, my previous careers. It's something that I'm happy to do, and I'll sit down with them. When would be the best time for us to sit down and start this process? So that in it itself is closing the sale down. So actually putting a time frame on when we can start the process is part of the closing of the deal. Now, for me, my most favourite part of closing the sale is using the assumptive sell. Again, I've maybe talked about this before. Hi, Sarah Louise. Where I'm not a cocky person. I wouldn't say I'm a cocky person at all. But if you have confidence in what it is that you're selling, if it's your brand, if it's your products, your services. For me, I had a very easy time. I worked on Radio Times magazine when I was at the BBC. Now, Radio Times at those times was in millions and millions of homes each week. And there's a funny symbol, sorry, on that. I'm wondering what that means. But anyway, sorry, there's all these new things on Facebook Live that weren't there last week, and it's really putting me off, so I apologise for that. I'll have to investigate them later on. So Pauline Thompson, if you're watching this or if you watch this on replay, you'll see that I don't do lives really smoothly either. So don't be afraid of doing lives. If you make cock-ups, everyone makes cock-ups on lives, even if you do them every single week. But anyway, where was I? Completely lost my train of thought. Yes, when I worked on Radio Times, when I worked at the BBC, it was a magazine that was really popular. It was in most people's, a lot of homes. So I think we had a readership of about 1.6 million people a week. So we sold probably sold about 700,000 copies every week. So it was really big distribution at the time. And so a lot of the advertisers loved the brand. And so it was quite an easy sell for me because I would make the assumption that they wanted to use the brand. Why would they want to use any other brand? And so for me to close the sales down, I use the assumptive close, where it is you feel that you have done the whole conversation, you've really answered their need, you know absolutely 100% what you offer is going to make their lives better and in turn make somebody else's life better and have that ripple effect that I've talked about before. And so you close them down by saying, are we going to sign the deal today? When is a good time for us to implement the start of this deal? When would you like me to deliver this product to you? Who would you like me to make this gift out to? Is it a special gift? Do you want it to be gift wrapped? I can do gift wrapping for you. So these are all ways of pushing the person to say yes. Oh, yes, actually, that would be really helpful for me. If you can gift wrap that for me, then it's one less thing for me to think about. Well, actually, if we're going to start this, I really need this starting before the end of the month. So it's a bit short notice, but are you able to start this on Thursday for me this week so that we get this into April's figures as opposed to flipping over to May? So being assumptive and getting that close down straight away. There are other, and as said earlier on, you can Google closing the sale and you'll get lots of different things. So the now or never closes, this is something that some of them are you have to really think about how they relate to your business. So go online and have a look at these, but you have to think about how they relate to your business and if they'd work. So this one, the now or never close would work if you were, so one of my clients who came on my workshop sold gym memberships, and he would genuinely have he would need to get so many gym memberships in a month. And so what he could do was, and it kind of covers off different ways of closing, but what he could do was, so say it was on Thursday, the last day of the month, the 30th of April, and he needed to have a quota done by the 30th of April before it clicked over to the 1st of May. He would be able to say, well, if you sign up today, then what I can do is I can offer an extra personal training session for you. And so that was that now or never. If you sign today, then I can do this for you. Would you like to go ahead with that? So you've got to be quite direct and really, help people understand where they're going, where they need to go with you. So that might not necessarily make you feel comfortable. You might not like that idea, but in some businesses, they have got very real needs to have very strict deadlines. So car salesmen, nobody really likes the whole car sales way that it works. But one thing that we do know, or well, I know, I've learned over the years, is that they obviously work in their quarters. And if you're wanting to get a car, if you go to them at the end of a quarter, so obviously January, February, March, if you went to them at the end of March, they could probably do you a really good deal if you could sign the deal on the last day of March, as opposed to it going over to April, because it's almost like April is the slate is wiped clean and they're starting again. So for them, if they can get their sales up at the end of March, it eases up the next quarter. So it makes the next quarter a bit easier if they get all those sales done in March. So if you think of your year in quarters, if you don't do that already, we used to have something called clawback bonus. So when I worked in advertising, so we would have, January, February, March was the quarter, and we'd have monthly targets, and if we hit in January, fantastic, we'd be on track to get our bonus for that month, but we would only get paid at the end of the quarter. If we had a terrible February, we'd be like, oh my god, we've not made our bonus, that's terrible, we've not made commission for that month. And then March, if you had a super duper bumper March and you actually made your March target, plus you also made up the shortfall from February, then at the end of the quarter, we'd then get a claw back, so that we'd be rewarded for the fact that we'd actually gone that extra mile towards the end of that quarter. So if you think of it in those terms, which some people might find that uncomfortable, but that is how you can motivate yourself to really push your sales and drive your sales. If you maybe think about having those, and so I know in Mint Club last week they had a really big session on key performance indicators. So you could have that as your put that into place for key performance indicators, that you've got a target for January, target for February, target for March, but then you've also got an overall, if over those 3 months you make that money, make those targets, even if you didn't make it in February, then give yourself a bonus, buy yourself something nice, if you can do, or reinvest that money into your business if you're able to do that. So that now or never close can help you out if you think of it like that. So just as I say, all these different closes, you've got to make them work for your business. Now, summary closing is another way of closing. I'm just looking at the time, 20 past 8. Can't ramble on too long. So summary closes is, as you would imagine, you just go back over. So from the conversations that we've been having, you've told me that from what you've told me, I've gathered that you're having a real problem with this. And actually, as I see it, what you need to do is you need to change X to achieve Y. Well, that's something that I can help you with, and this is how I think that I can do it with you. And if we start doing that process on the 1st of May, then by the end of June, you will be in a much better position. Shall we get going on the 1st of May? So you've summarised your whole deal. You've summarised your whole conversation. You've made them see that, yes, it's right. That's why hadn't they thought of this before? And they'll hopefully then sign on the line. Hi, Teresa. Hello. Yeah, we definitely should reward ourselves if we hit targets. So even if it's, go and get your, back in the days, go and get your manicure off lovely Gemma from Beauty Kinds, or what could it be? A treat. For me at the moment would be more chocolate, although I seem to be having chocolate every day, so that's not really a treat, is it? It's just my staple diet at the moment. But yes, having rewards for the end of your month or the end of the quarter, it's just a really nice way of doing it. Is really kind of break it down and think how you're going to motivate yourself to push sales. Because if you don't like selling, then you've got to have that key performance indicator to make you go, oh God, I really don't want to go out and sell there today. But actually, if I do it, I'm going to make that target and I'm going to feel so much better. So even if it's just imagine the feeling. Teresa's really good with her coaching in really making you think about how something will make you feel. And that's the same for selling. How will it make you feel when you've made that target? Another one that we talk about in my trainings is sharp angle closes, which is a very American. This is all taken from HubSpot, which is a fantastic resource, marketing and sales resource. If you've not come across it, then Google that one. So what people tend to do is that they ask for price reductions or add-ons, and they know that they have the upper hand because it might be, they know that you really need the sale. If you, in your head, have in mind what other things can you offer, what add-ons can you add on, what added value can you offer to people? They might not be expecting, so they might be a bit cocky and asking for these added extras. And if you can actually turn around to them and say, well, okay, if I can offer you this bonus, will you go ahead with the deal today? So it kind of takes them off guard, and they'll hopefully then turn around and say, well, they usually will say, oh, right, okay, because you'll make them feel really special. It's about making the sale about them again. You're making them feel really special, but they don't know that you'd already thought, well, I'll have that in the back of my head for them if they are teetering over the edge of closing. Question closes. So in your opinion, does what I'm offering solve your problem? In their opinion, it is totally putting it on them. It's kind of getting them to think in their head, well, yes, actually, Moira has offered to help me do something that I really don't want to do. I really don't want to write that sales strategy. So yeah, actually it does. And then they'll want to go ahead and close. I'm whizzing through these really quickly. The assumptive close I've already talked about, which is something that, does this sound like something that would be valuable to your company? Does this meet your specific pay? If you've got the confidence in your business, and if you don't have the confidence in your business, then you need to go back and do a little bit of work on is what you're doing what you really want to be doing, and do you need to pivot your business slightly to help you achieve your end goal that you want to achieve? So sometimes we can get a little bit distracted off our sat nav course, if you like, and you need to bring yourself back around. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you for, I want to give as much as I can, because people are struggling at the moment. I realise that, and I want to help as much as I can. So takeaway closes. This is one of my favourites, because if you're a parent, you're probably quite used to this. The kids are screaming and being really horrible. If you take a toy away from, if there's two toys out there and they're playing with this one, they don't seem to be showing much interest in that one. But if you take that one away, guess what? They're suddenly going to go, but I want that toy, but I want that toy. And it's the same in selling. So if you have got the takeaway closed and take that away, sorry if I keep disappearing. I don't know what's happening with my connection tonight. I do apologise. But if you take something away, invariably the person will want the thing you've taken away. So if I talked about this, I think in another week. So if something costs, say, for example, £150, and they say, oh, I'm really sorry, I've only got £100, then you say to them, well, okay, you can have parts A and part B, but I'll have to take away part C. The first thing they're going to say is, well, actually, I really want part C. You have to explain to them that value equation. Well, this is what it's worth. And 9 times out of 10, they'll find that extra £50 and get the full whack. So the takeaway close is certainly one that's a good one to use. I've realised that I'm kind of going over time here a little bit. So it's very much a case of please don't discount. I'm doing lots of I've talked about this before. There's a lot of people out there, and it's been discussed as well on something else I was involved with today, is that people are feeling the need to give things away. I mean, I'm not giving this away for free. This is obviously me doing this. I do want to add value to people, but for me, this is a great marketing tool for me. People get to know me a little bit more, so there's some value in me doing this for you. And likewise, if you are going to do things for free, you need to think about what it's going to bring in for you in the end. You don't want to fall in the trap of Pizza Express that I've talked about before in the 2008 recession, where they suddenly offered two meals for the price of one, and they never really recovered from that, unfortunately. That's the same with selling websites. If the customer limits the budget, then you have to limit the functionality. Yes, Peter, thank you. Hello, Peter. I've not realised you were on. So yes, you have to take things away, don't you? But you have to be very, very aware of your values. Please don't give up on your brand values. Amy Purdy at Whiteacres does some great work on values with her clients. And it's really important to always try and keep those front of mind, so that if you are taking something away, you are making sure that they realise there is a value attached to that thing that you're taking away. And if they want it, then they've got to part with money. Or if you can think ahead of any closing of the sale, if you can think of added value that to you is not giving away too much of your time, too much of your products. So I'm trying to think of a product-based example. So Sarah Phillips of Altruist Living, she could offer, so if somebody's struggling to pay the price of, I don't know, a diffuser, she could offer some free content. Well, you know, if you buy this today, then I'm able to send you a free ebook on well-being, looking after yourself. The same for Sarah Louise Johnson. If you've got photography clients who are teetering on the edge if they're not able to, you know, oh, that's a bit pricey for me at the moment, I'm not really sure. You can say to them, well, what I'll do is you'll get this, and then I'll also give you a free worksheet on how to take pet photography, you know, top tips on taking your own pet's photography, getting the right light, and so on and so forth. So just think about what little nuggets of your brain can you transfer into something that would offer added value to your customers, so that they feel like they're getting a good deal, but you know you're not devaluing your service and you're not devaluing your products. So that's really important. So we are at, gosh, how did we get to 8:30 so quickly? So what I quickly wanted to do before we went though, so that is, I say, is a really quick run through of closing the sale. If you've got any questions, then ask them in the comments below. Next week is going to be my last live that I do. So if there's anything that I've not covered off that you wish I had covered off, then let me know before next Monday and I'll try and do that. Otherwise, next Monday, I'm just going to recap on the previous 6 weeks selling that we've talked about. But just to let you know, you're welcome, Teresa. To those of you in the Mint Business Club, who is fully paid up members of Mint Business Club, to let you know what things are happening this week. So every morning, which everybody gets, even in the wider Mint community, is Nick's Daily Dose of Mint Positivity, which will be on Mint Business page every morning at about 9:35. This morning we had our Mint My Time networking session, which was where members get to, you know, obviously virtually network with each other, which is really powerful and lovely to have that little bit of connection. But they also got to have one-to-ones with different members of the steering group. Tomorrow we're having, which I'm very excited about, an introduction to CRM, customer relationship management, and we've got Mint Melodies in the evening. We're having a Wellbeing Wednesday with our lovely Tracy Hutchinson on Wednesday. There's going to be some Etsy shop training with Lisa Johnson. Thursday, we're having Mapping Our Client Experience for Service Businesses with Laura Fellows. And on Friday, we've got our new, I love it, the CSI that we have on a Friday. I love that, which is Check, Support and Ideas Generation. And it's super duper powerful. But also to let you, those of you know who are in the Mint business community, the wider community, just to let you know that we are going to be having a Mint taster session in May. So look out for more details of that coming up. And what that means is that you get to come in, we'll have a session probably in a morning, and you get to come and do almost a bit that CSI, the check-in and support and ideas. So masterminding, it's a really powerful exercise. Even if you come and do that one thing with us, you just see how powerful it is to have all those different people giving you fantastic feedback and advice on whatever it is that you're wanting to, whatever business problem you're having. It could be a sales challenge that you get lots of, so we split up into groups on the wonders of Zoom into our different meeting rooms, all very confidential. Everything just stays in those rooms, and you can really get to the heart of some different challenges that you're having with your businesses. So it's really powerful, it's really useful, and it's really valuable, but it's just a great way of us showing you how the Mint Business Club really works and can help you in your businesses. So I hope that has been useful for you all. I apologize if I have been clicking in and out of connection, and again, I'm still feeling a bit weird that I'm so squished, but then I look like I've lost some weight rather than put it on, because it would be the other way. Sam, never mind, catch up later, you're welcome, no problem. But next Monday is the last live that I'm doing, so please, if there's anything you want me to talk about with regards to sales, then please do let me know. And it's been a pleasure. So take care and enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye. Oh, Darren, I'm going now. Bye. See you again. And yeah, we don't do the always be closing. That's very old fashioned, but always think about the closing. So take care. Lots of love. Bye.